In the wake of the suspect for the extension of the lockdown, here today I am uploading a new video. So here we goes. Correct usage of tenses. Tense basically is about the verb which is the soul of a sentence, which is very important part of speech. The tense denote, describe the action and it gives idea to us when the action takes place and what are the state of the action or event which are taking place. Okay, so tense, it is derived from the Latin word tempus, which means time. So as I already told you, time, the tense, it denotes the time. So we have three time in our day-to-day life, which means, so for example, the time the which is now. So this now, the time of the current time is known as present. Then the time before now is known as past, and the time which is going to come after now is called future. So let's try to discuss these times in sentence. So here we goes. In number one sentence, he works hard. This sentence gives us the idea that action of working gives us an idea of the work is being done in the present time, in the now time. And in the second sentence as well, he is working hard denotes the work is being done in the present time, means now. And the third sentence as well, he has worked hard, also give us an idea that the work has done in present and it is already completed. It is already perfect. Then these two sentences, number 4 and 5, he worked hard and he was working hard, denotes the work was done in sometime earlier than now. Means that is the time before now, which is better known as past. He worked hard and he was working hard. And let's go to yet another two sentences. He will work hard, and number 7, he will be working hard. Here these two sentences does not say the work is being done now and has been done at the past, but it shows the action is going to take place in some other time later. So he will work hard and he will be working hard shows us that the time referred to herein is in the future. So what we observe in this example sentences is that the verb shows us the time, the verb shows us an action and its state. how far the work has done, whether it is completed or whether it is being continued. So, tense, we can define it as the form of the verb which shows the time and state of an action or event. Means tense ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯗ ꯈꯪꯍꯜꯂꯤꯕꯁꯤ ꯊꯕꯛ ꯑꯃ ꯀꯔꯝꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯄꯥꯡꯊꯣꯛꯈꯤꯕꯅꯣ, ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯇ ꯄꯥꯡꯊꯣꯛꯈꯤꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ, ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯀꯤ ꯃꯃꯥꯡꯒꯤ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯄꯥꯡꯊꯣꯛꯈꯤꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ, ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒ ꯂꯥꯛꯀꯗꯧꯔꯤꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯄꯥꯡꯊꯣꯛꯈꯤꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯨ ꯇꯥꯛꯏ꯫ ꯑꯃꯔꯣꯝꯗꯁꯨ ꯑꯃꯨꯛ ꯇꯦꯟꯁ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤꯅ ꯊꯕꯛ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯂꯣꯏꯈ꯭ꯔꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ, ꯆꯠꯊꯔꯤꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ, ꯇꯧꯗ꯭ꯔꯤꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯨꯁꯨ ꯇꯥꯛꯑꯦꯕ꯫ So we have, as we can observe from these example sentences, we can observe that we have 3 times. So 3 times means 3 tense. So we have 3 tenses in our English grammar: past, present, and future. So now let's observe again another example with the verb go. If I have to say I say, I say I go. I chattuna lady, I chatli. I have targadi, I am going. Then I chatli, I yokre. Mafamdudu yokre. I chatkre. Haiba taragana, I have gone. Then I ayuk anganbadagi, ꯑꯩꯁꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯆꯠꯇꯨꯅ ꯂꯩꯔꯤ꯫ ꯂꯣꯛꯗꯥꯎꯟꯁꯤꯅ ꯒꯥꯔꯤ ꯐꯪꯗꯕꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯩ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯆꯠꯇꯨꯅ ꯂꯩꯔꯤ. I have been walking, or I have been going. So the verb go can be denoted in 4 forms, which is as in the sentence I go. In the sentence, nothing is said. Nothing is said about the completeness or continuance of the action go. So we can simply say sometime any action giving more emphasis on the action being done. Such type of sentence we call it as into simple present, or indefinite, we can say in another word. If the sentence denote the action being in the state of continuing or in progress, then we call them as present continuous. Then if the action is shown as finished, completed, or perfected in the present time, means now, then such type of tense we call them as present perfect. And if the action is short as being continuously done from earlier time, in another word, an action which is started at an earlier time and is being continued up to now is expressed in present perfect continuous. So, when we discuss the present time or present tense, we come across 4 different forms. That is simple present, present continuous, then present perfect, and last but not the least, present perfect continuous. So, but we have three tenses and four forms. So we have three tenses: present, past, and future, and we have four forms: simple, or in another word, we can say indefinite, then continuous, in another word, we can say progressive, and perfect, which shows completed, then perfect continuous. So we have three tenses and four forms. So altogether, 3 into 4 gives us 12 forms of tense. So in English grammar, we study 12 forms of tenses, which goes as present indefinite, past indefinite, future indefinite, present continuous or present progressive, or past continuous, past progressive, past perfect, past perfect continuous, future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect, future perfect continuous, like this. So these 12 different forms of tenses give us different ideas of what when the action took place, or if the action is being taking place, or whether the action is completed. So it gives us different ideas of the action and its state. So now these 12 forms, we will discuss these 12 forms, when to use which tenses form in expressing certain idea. So we have 12 forms in English grammar, but in English grammar we can write in passive voice as well. Passive voice means wherein the subject, means the doer of the action, is not given importance, but the object which receives the action is given the importance. In such type of sentences, we have only 8 tense forms. Why 8 tense forms in passive form? Because this perfect continuous form of any tense cannot be written in passive form, and future continuous tense is had, does not have its passive form. So in passive voice we have only 8 forms of tenses, but in active voice we have 12 forms of tenses. Now let's discuss further about the uses of different tense forms and how they are written. And you have already come across different structure of sentence and uses earlier, so I have summarized into a table altogether. So in present tense we have 4 forms, namely simple present tense, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. So when to use these forms of tenses in certain situation, let's discuss on that. So first of all, simple present tense. Simple present tense is used to express a habitual action. Habitual actions means those actions keep on doing at certain interval of time. For example, I do wake up early in the morning, 5 every day, and do some jogging up to 6 a.m. So these action of waking up and jogging are being done regularly in my life every morning. So to express such an action of habitual nature, custom, routine, or habit, we use simple present tense. Now, let's have a look on another another use of simple present tense. Simple present tense is used to express general truth, scientific facts, and geographical facts. So, si- whatever it is true not only for me and for everyone, if I'm going to express such an action, such an event, then we use simple present tense. For example, the earth revolves around the sun. The sun rises in the east. It is true all the time. Manipur is a state in the northeast. We cannot alter such type of facts. In this situation, we use simple present tense. Now, another important use of simple present tense is it is used in imperative sentence. Imperative sentence means those sentences which refer some command or order. Command or order are always given to a person b- which is in front of me, supposingly you. So it is always all the time written in bare form of verb. So bare form of verb means first form of verb. So such type of sentences are always expressed in simple present tense. Do it or sit here like that. Then in exclamatory sentences beginning with here and there, those sentences which are which are expressing a certain feeling, and if it begins with here and there, then we use simple present tense. For example, here comes the bus, here comes he, here arrives the principal himself. Let's have a look on another use. It is used to express simply the action which is taking place at the present time. For example, he sings a song. Another example, it is true. So, here in this type of sentence, in these two examples, it is indicated that we are having an action taking place at the time now, and we are just simply saying or reporting the action done at the present, just simply. So, to express such an action which is taking place regularly or simply the action, we use certain adverbs or adverbials. By saying adverbials, I mean those adverbs and adverb phrase which indicate some time. So, generally, simple present tense are always used with always, never, usually, generally, normally, often, every day, once in a month, like this. So, now let's move on to present continuous tense. Present continuous tense are used to describe an action going on at the time of speaking. So, for example, I am having a Persian class, you are listening to me, like this. Any action which is taking place at the time of speaking. For example, I am teaching students the tense. In another use of present continuous tense, it is used to describe an action that has been taking place over a period of time but may not be at the time of speaking. For example, as a resident of Manipur, I am staying in Manipur, but I may not be residing at present time in Manipur. I may be going somewhere. So, present continuous tense is used to express which is true generally, but it may not be true at the time of speaking. For example, I am learning to play the guitar. Now, let's see what this sentence really means. Right now, I'm teaching to you. I'm taking a Persian class, but in my rest of the time, in my free time, I'm engaging myself to learn guitar. Okay? And generally, this present continuous tense is associated with adverbials like nowadays, always, constantly, continually, now, at the moment. So, when you do your exercises, if you find such adverbials, you are going to fill up that form of verb in present continuous tense. Now let's move on to present perfect tense. Present perfect tense is written in the form of subject followed by has or have. After that, it's present participle form of verb. Here, this B3 means the act in conjugation of verbs. We have the past participle form of verb. Uh, that participle form of verb is also known as B3. So this is the most important tense form which are being asked frequently in our exams. So let's try to observe the different uses. First of all, present perfect tense are used to express completed or action which are those actions which are completed a moment before are usually expressed in present perfect tense. Like as an example, we have just finished the talk. In second usage of present perfect tense, it is used to denote a past action which time is not mentioned or not definite. Any action which took place earlier, but we don't know really when that action took place. In such a condition, we usually use present perfect tense. He has helped beggars several times. The action of helping the beggars is not defined herein, but he has done it. So, this sentence is expressed in present perfect tense. Present perfect tense are also used to describe a past event when we think more about the effect or result in the present. This is the most important use of present perfect tense. For, let's try to observe the example. Here, I have lost my wallet. Here in this sentence, it expresses that I have lost somewhere my wallet. And so, as a result, I don't have any single money with me in my pocket. So, in this sentence, the sentence is referring more about the result of losing the wallet than the action itself. So, when we want to put emphasis on the result than the action, we use present perfect tense. Now, let's observe another action, another use. Present perfect tense are used to denote an action that started some time earlier and is continuing up to now. It is used to express any action which referred to begin at at some point in time earlier than now and is being continued up to now. In such action, to describe such an action, we use present perfect tense. I have taught here English since 2019. So, in such type of action, which started earlier and is being continued till now, to describe such action, we usually use two words as since and for. Here, since is used to denote the definite starting point, and the for we use for a period of time. Since ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤꯅ ꯑꯀꯛꯅꯅ ꯑꯁꯤꯗꯒꯤ ꯍꯧꯈꯤꯕꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯨ ꯇꯥꯛꯄ ꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯁꯤꯖꯤꯟꯅꯒꯗꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ for ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤꯅ ꯊꯕꯛ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯇꯧꯔꯛꯂꯤꯕꯗꯨ ꯀꯌꯥꯃꯨꯛ ꯁꯥꯡꯅ ꯇꯧꯔꯛꯂꯕꯒꯦ ꯀꯌꯥꯝ ꯀꯨꯏꯔꯕꯒꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯨ ꯇꯥꯛꯄ ꯀꯥꯟꯗꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯀꯔꯤ ꯁꯤꯖꯤꯟꯅꯒꯅꯤ for ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤ ꯁꯤꯖꯤꯟꯅꯒꯅꯤ. So Since and for have a perfect form of tense irrespective of the different tense form ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯁꯤꯖꯤꯟꯅꯒꯅꯤꯀꯣ. Let's observe another use of present perfect. We use present perfect to express experience. Experience means ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯗ ꯍꯥꯟꯅ ꯇꯧꯈ꯭ꯔꯕꯒꯤ ꯍꯥꯟꯅ ꯊꯕꯛ ꯑꯃ ꯇꯧꯈꯤꯕꯒꯤ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯂꯩꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯀꯣ. For example, he has faced such problems several times. Here in this sentence, it means such a problem has taken place in earlier time, so he have a good knowledge how to tackle it. Now, let's observe another use of present perfect tense. We talk many changes which are taking place with us or with some other. To express such a type of changes, we use we use present perfect tense. It is much similar with the earlier use to express about experience. Last but not the least, present perfect tense are used to talk about events, actions, and situations that are expected to happen. So, for example, which are expected? Expected means 오이르거니 타저브. The second periodic test has postponed. Here, due to the lockdown, we could not conduct much of the classes. So, the second periodic test is expected to be cancelled or postponed. It is just an example. I really don't know whether the second periodic test will be postponed or not, but I'm just mentioning here as an example to highlight the use of present perfect tense. Okay, let's move on. Present perfect continuous tense. Present perfect continuous tense are used to describe an ongoing action. Ongoing means which are being continued. That action is continuing. Okay. An ongoing action which started in the past and is still going on at the time of speak present moment. So, present perfect continuous tense are used to describe those actions which is started earlier and is still being continued to up to now. In such a situation, we usually use since and for. So, students, since and for ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯕ ꯋꯥꯍꯩ ꯑꯅꯤꯁꯤ ꯍꯦꯛ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯝꯕ ꯇꯥꯔꯒꯗꯤ either you are going to fill up that blank with present perfect or present perfect continuous. So keep this in mind. And more importantly, present continuous tense are used to show repeated action. For example, Miss Silky has been receiving the title of Best Hosteler for 2 years or for 3 years, like this. Okay. I better stop here for the first session, and we continue in another section because uh, the video will become much bulky. Okay, let's stop here and continue in the next section. Thank you. Stay tuned.